José Rizal's Noli Me Tangere was written in Spanish and published in 1887. Rizal was able to expose the real-life scenario under the Spanish colonial rule, the abuses and inequalities of many Spanish Catholic friars and government officials during his time. With 63 chapters and an epilogue, the Noli Me Tangere was dedicated to the country whose miseries and sorrows were brought to light in an attempt to awaken its people to the truths concerning the ills of the society during that time. The Noli Me Tangere started. The young and wealthy Filipino Crisostomo Ibarra returned to his country after some years of studying in Europe. In his honor, Capitan Tiago threw a party at his house in Manila. The gathering was attended by renowned local personalities like Padre Damaso, a fat Franciscan priest who had been assigned for many years in San Diego, Fray Sibila, the young Dominican curate of Binondo, Lieutenant Guevara of the Guardia Civil, and Dona Victorina, wife of a fake Spanish physician, Tiburcio de Espada. Crisostomo's father, Don Rafael Ibarra, was Capitan Tiago's friend. Capitan Tiago's supposed daughter, Maria Clara, was Crisostomo's fiancée. During the party, Padre Damaso belittled Ibarra and rudely tried to harm his reputation, but the gentleman Ibarra simply ignored the friar's affront. When Ibarra left Capitan Tiago's house, Lieutenant Guevara talked to him and related the miserable fate of his deceased father in San Diego. Guevara explained that Don Rafael was unfairly accused by San Diego curate of being a heretic and filibuster because of his non-participation in Mass and confession. One day, Don Rafael saw a Spanish tax collector and a weak boy fighting. In an attempt to defend the powerless boy, he had accidentally pushed and killed the brutal Spaniard. Don Rafael was thus imprisoned and died in his cell miserably. Initially buried in consecrated ground, his body was removed from the Catholic cemetery under the order of his enemies. The next day, Crisostomo visited his sweetheart, Maria Clara. After the lovely visit to his girlfriend, Ibarra went to San Diego to look for his father's grave. He had known through the gravedigger that his father's corpse was dug up by order of the curate to be transferred in the Chinese cemetery, but since it was raining and the corpse was heavy, the gravedigger just threw Don Rafael's corpse into the river. Angered by what he learned, Ibarra suddenly attacked Padre Salvi when he saw the San Diego parish priest, but Salvi explained to him that it was Padre Damaso, who was the town's parish priest at the time of Don Rafael's death. When Maria Clara and her family arrived in San Diego, Ibarra gave picnic at the lake. During the picnic, Ibarra had saved the life of Elias, the boatman who was almost killed by a crocodile trapped in the fish cage. Ibarra received a notice that his donation of a school in San Diego had been approved by the Spanish government. On the day of San Diego town fiesta, Ibarra and Maria Clara attended the morning mass, officiated by Padre Salvi and Padre Damaso. During the mass, Elias silently went near Ibarra and notified him of the plot to kill him on the ceremony of the laying of the school's cornerstone. So during the inauguration, when Ibarra was about to cement the foundation of the schoolhouse, the platform collapsed. Fortunately, the quick Elias had rescued Ibarra, and the man who was paid to harm Ibarra was. Ibarra hosted a banquet later that day. Padre Damaso, who attended the feast, publicly attacked the dignity of Ibarra's dead father. The angered host lunged at the ill-mannered friar and had almost killed Damaso with a knife, were it not for Maria Clara, who interfered just in time. Ibarra was consequently excommunicated and his engagement with Maria Clara was broken, as Damaso persuaded Capitan Tiago to prohibit the lady to marry Ibarra. One day, Ibarra's enemies engineered a helpless attack on the station of the Guardia Civil, making the attackers believe that Ibarra was the brain of the uprising. After the attack failed, Ibarra was incriminated and arrested. Elias helped Ibarra escape from prison. Before leaving, they discreetly stopped at Capitan Tiago's house. Maria Clara explained that she was blackmailed by Padre Salvi to surrender Ibarra's letter, which was used to incriminate him in exchange for the letters written by her dead mother. From these, she learned that her real father was Padre Damaso. Ibarra and Elias then took off by boat. Instructing Ibarra to lie down, Elias covered him with grass to conceal his presence. As luck would have it, they were spotted by their enemies. Elias, thinking he could outsmart them, jumped into the water. The guards rained shots on him, all the while not knowing that they were aiming at the wrong man. Badly injured, Elias reached the forest, where he found the altar boy Basilio, who was sobbing over the body of his dead mother, Sisa. His mother had previously lost her mind upon learning that her two sons, altar boys Crispin and Basilio, were missing from the convent. Falsely accused of stealing from the convent, Crispin had been tortured and killed by the wicked and crooked sacristan mayor. Basilio had escaped, and the death of his brother had been covered up by Salvi. Knowing that he would eventually die, Elias instructed Basilio to make a funeral pyre and burn his and Sisa's bodies to ashes. In his dying breath, Elias mumbled the following hopeful patriotic words: "I shall die without seeing the dawn break upon my homeland. You, who shall see it, salute it. Do not forget those who have fallen during the night." The novel's epilogue narrates that Capitan Tiago became addicted to opium. Padre Damaso was assigned to a far province and was found dead in his bedroom one morning. The sorrowful Maria Clara, believing that Ibarra had been shot dead in the river, entered the nunnery